How would you rate this tattoo? On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? Well, stick around if you want to know how I'm going to rate it. Here we go. This tattoo was actually sent in anonymously by one of our viewers. He wanted to know how I would rate it. He got it done in Royse City, Texas. If you want to check out the studio, it is Valhalla Tattoo Studio. I found him right there on Instagram. Now, I don't want to give them any credit or anything because he said he thinks it was done by a traveling artist and he's not really sure the artist's name. So I'm going to go ahead and rate it, but I don't necessarily want to give that studio any credit or anything. Now, let's break it down. Right off the bat, the first thing that stands out is how squared off this looks. It's a very unnatural look to me. Now, the number one thing with tattoos, guys, it's got to conform to the shape of your body. It's got to fit nicely. And if I was doing this tattoo, I probably would have created a shape a little closer to this, where it kind of shapes the top of the pecs, shapes that collarbone a little bit better, and is something a little more form-fitting to the area. When you create something so boxed off like this, it looks really kind of unnatural, if you ask me, especially when you can see his collarbone on this side is much higher than the design, and then it's such a straight line there. I think if the artist would have faded it off a little bit, created a blend out so it's not such a harsh edge right there, it would have been a lot nicer. And same with the bottom half here, just such a straight line. Looks very awkward and kind of crude when you put it on a body like that. So when we're talking about the design, the composition of this one, I'm sorry, but I gotta rate it low. It's only gonna get a 4 out of 10 from me. Now, moving on to the color, if you guys want to talk about color saturation and color blending, I mean, I think this artist did an okay job, but when I zoom up here, it just looks really kind of patchy, random. It doesn't really look smooth and crisp. Now, I gotta give the client a little bit of shit. He sent me kind of a low resolution photo, and we're really zoomed in on it, so it's kind of pixelated, hard to tell. But also with the coloring, I think the water was done in a kind of lazy way. There's just a few kind of streak lines in there to show that there's a texture to the water. The glare effect is done well. The texturing on the rocks is a little chintzy. It really should have higher detail in here, and I'm just seeing kind of a random spattering of black to kind of give it texture. But I like what he did here with this sunset here, or sunrise, whatever it is. It does look really nice when it comes to the choices of colors he used and everything. I'm not a fan, however, of these little bean-shaped clouds. They're sort of weird looking, wonky. I'm not really sure. It just has an unnatural look to it. But he did do some light glare off of the clouds up here, which looks really nice. So for the coloring, it's hard to rate because I really wish he would have filled in this ship a little bit. You're telling me light is glaring off of everything, the lighthouse, the rocks over here, but the light is from the sun is not glaring off of the ship at all. The ship is just a dark black silhouette with a shadow? Come on, you don't give a silhouette a shadow unless there's actual light reflecting off of it. And so I think the artist kind of rushed it in some of these ways. He chose the shape of the ship and maybe found a silhouette online, but he didn't take the time to actually create any 3D effect with it. And that's got to really affect my judgment. So on the coloring, I think I would rate it maybe a 5 out of 10. There's a lot that could be improved here. Now, that being said, I don't want to just bash on him because there is some skill here. I believe that the artist does know what he's doing, especially on paper or painting. He knows what he's doing. But with tattooing, it just did not really come across as clean or crisp as it could have. Now, for the healing, I gotta show you, he sent me a photo of when it was originally done, and again, really shitty potato cam quality here, but we can kind of see what it looked like on day one, and then judge based on what it looked like, years later. And I think the artist did an okay job. It does look overworked in some areas, and that's just gonna happen though when you're saturating so many different colors over and over again. So I think it's hard to see how well it healed exactly, but I think it's okay. So I'm gonna rate it a 7 out of 10 for the healing. I'm gonna give him a little bit of grace here because I do think, when you're jam-packing all these color blends in there and opposing colors like this, it can be hard not to overwork the skin. And I don't think he did too bad. This shows a lot of irritation, but I'm not seeing a bunch of redness on the skin around it. I'm not seeing a lot of bleeding, but it doesn't look natural either though. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Overall, I think I would rate this one a 5.5 out of 10. Lots and lots of room for improvement, but the artist didn't do a bad job. They just could have done a much better job. This is, to me, gives a lot of telltale signs of an artist kind of rushing to maybe get this all done in one day. I'm not sure if it was all done in one day, but that's what it looks like to me. Like an artist was kind of rushing to really get this in and get it done. So that's it, 5.5 out of 10 from me. Let me know what you guys would rate this one down in the comments below. And if you want your tattoo rated, just send it in. All right, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.